Art licensing can be a great way to expand the reach of your art. But as you dig into more information about the industry, you may have realized that connecting with potential licensees and securing licensing agreements takes a lot of time, research, and dedication. If you're new to this industry or you're a pro but you have a lot on your plate, you may be considering connecting with an art licensing agent to help you with some of that work. But what does working with an art licensing agent really look like? In this video, I'm breaking down some of the key aspects of working with agencies that you might not know so that you can make informed decisions. Before I dive in, if you're new here, welcome. I'm Elizabeth Silver, and I've been designing patterns and illustrations for over 20 years through staff jobs, freelance clients, and art licensing partners. On this channel, I give designers insights to the surface pattern and art for product industry. From tips on making stronger art collections, to pitching your work, to industry trends. So subscribe if that sounds useful to you. Here's some definitions if you're just starting to explore art licensing. Art licensing is when you essentially rent out your artwork to companies that manufacture products for them to use on their stuff. A huge example of art licensing would be Disney. The Walt Disney Company does not manufacture every water bottle or pillowcase that has Mickey Mouse on it. They license Mickey art out to hundreds of companies. I license my art on a much smaller scale with companies that make notebooks, fabrics, and greeting cards, among many other products. Art licensing agencies broker licensing deals for the artists they represent with manufacturers and retailers who need art for use on a variety of products, such as home decor, stationery, and gift products. They work to negotiate deals and ensure that the artwork is used appropriately, and they take a commission on the licensing fees that they secure for their artists. Many art licensing agencies also connect their artists to companies who may want to purchase their work outright for products or commission custom work. So that's the background. But what are some things about working with an art licensing agency that you should know? The first is no two agencies operate exactly the same. I can't stress this enough. All art licensing agencies operate differently. I was represented by an agency for over a decade and have talked to many friends and interviewed many colleagues who have been represented by other agencies. And while there are naturally similarities between agencies, you may find a lot of differences in the day-to-day of your interactions and processes with individual agencies. I've got a video planned to cover some of those key differences next month, so keep an eye out for that. Onboarding into a new agency takes time and work. You may think that as soon as you've signed a contract with an art licensing agent, your career is poised for massive growth. And I hope it is. But it will likely take a while before you're seeing those licensing deals come rolling in. Getting started with a new agent usually takes some time. There's often an onboarding process as an agent and an artist start their partnership. Depending on the agency's system, you may need to upload your art to their web portal or email your portfolio in a specific format, or even wait until their next trade show and print your art for display in their booth. An agent may take time to look through your art and give you suggestions based on their client base and their client needs, and ask that you make changes before they are ready to send your art to the art directors they have relationships with. You may need to create marketing materials based on agency guidelines, like writing up an artist or brand statement, submitting your photo for a new artist's webpage, or creating a brand book. A good agent should clearly communicate all these expectations with you as an artist. But this type of onboarding could take weeks or even months before your official debut as an artist represented by their agency. Number 3, art callouts can guide your portfolio. Art agents often get what are called callouts from their clients. When a manufacturer is looking for something specific or knows certain trends it's hoping to fill, the company may reach out to an agency with their needs, hoping the agency has some type of art to fit the bill. They may say something like, we're looking for art that celebrates teachers for our line of teacher appreciation mugs. Or they may have a PDF with multiple Christmas trends they're planning for an upcoming year, with palettes, inspirational images, and specific art type needs, like looking for botanical art for holly or 1950s photorealistic vintage Santa art. Usually these callouts are relatively short deadlines because the manufacturers are looking to present to their higher ups or retailers coming up quickly, and there are no guarantees that creating relevant art based on these callouts will lead to a licensing deal with the company. Because remember, other artists in your agency and even other agencies may be responding to the exact same callout. But these are often great market-specific prompts. You know that real companies need this specific thing, so it can be a great way to build your portfolio and keep up to date on market trends. Coming up after this, I have 3 more things you may not know about art licensing agencies. But if this has been helpful so far, definitely give me a like and let me know in the comments any questions you've got. Stick around till the end of this video because I have got some great resources to help you connect with these agencies if that is your goal for your career. All right, number 4, agencies act as a middleman between you and your money. One thing you'll learn about art licensing if you do some preliminary research is that it's a long game and earning through licensing can be slow. This is because often licensing is paid out via royalties on sales, and sales can't be made until a company chooses your art, makes the samples of their product, sells the product to a retailer or directly to consumer, and there can be a few more steps in there depending on how the company works. So that means royalty payments can take between 6 and even up to 18 months to come through from when you initially sign a licensing deal. With an agent, even once a licensing partner pays out royalties, they pay them out directly to the agent. And depending on the agency's workflow, you may not get them for an additional few months. So for example, my former agent paid on a quarterly basis. So if that royalty check came to the agency right after I just got a quarterly payout, I wouldn't get my percentage of that money for another 3 months in the next payout. The 5th thing you might not know about agencies is there may be agency fees beyond your commission split. Speaking of money, let's talk about another potential unknown about agencies. While most designers understand that agents are paid on commission and receive a percentage of your licensing income, there are some agencies that have other fees as part of their business model. Some agencies have annual marketing fees which help to cover any trade show participation, paid advertisements, or printed marketing materials an agent may create on your behalf. Others charge onboarding fees to cover some of the administrative work needed to get an artist and their portfolio into their website and marketing materials. I'm sure there are other fees I haven't heard of, but the ones mentioned can range from $500 to $2,500, maybe even more. And while there are reputable agencies that charge fees, take care in signing with an agency to understand any potential fees and assess whether they fit with your expectations, because licensing can take time to be profitable. Paying fees up front, even if they are valid, can put financial strain on your creative business. Number 6, you won't know every detail about how your art is doing. Finally, one of the things I think is often surprising for artists signing with agencies is the amount of information and transparency coming from the agents. Depending on how much support staff, back-end reporting software, and number of artists an agency has, as an artist, you won't be informed of every presentation, client comment, or development. In fact, I've had situations where I didn't even know my art was licensed until I started getting royalties from a new company, because my agency had umbrella agreements with certain companies that I signed at a different time. So I had already signed the contract but didn't actually have a license. It was just sort of, I agreed to working with that company if they found art that they liked. So this is just part of the business. There are a lot of moving parts, and agents don't always have the time to relay every detail to artists. To be clear, it is well within your rights to ask about all these things. And if you aren't comfortable with the amount of info that you're getting, that's something that you should be discussing with your agent. But I will say it's absolutely common to feel a little clueless about what's going on behind the scenes with your art. I've heard so many artists say this, like, I don't even know what's going on over there. So for better or worse, that is something that you can expect with your agency. All right, I hope that was illuminating. As I said, I plan to do another video in the next month about agencies, so subscribe to make sure you see that. If you're looking for an art licensing agent, I have a free list of over 50 agencies and their websites to help you find the one that works for you. Plus, I have a sweet new upgrade to the free list called the Licensing Agent Ready Research Toolkit, which includes a strategic guide and research tools to help you find and pitch to agents successfully. So check out that link in the description for the free list and the upgrade toolkit. Enjoying the content? Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more tips, tutorials, and interviews to level up your surface pattern design journey.